Hi, dear colleagues. My name is Victoria Moreno, and I am an associate professor at Carlos III University of Madrid. Today, I'm going to present the main findings of a study carried out by professors Xavier Ramon Vegas, Marcel Mauri Rios, Ruth Rodriguez Martinez, and me within the Fact Media project funded by the Spanish Ministry of Science and Innovation and under the title Explanatory Journalism within European Fact-Checking, a new ally against disinformation. Well, following different studies on the topic, we can say that explanatory journalism is a growing practice that transcends conventional journalism because it adds a new dimension that highlights the how and the why. We can say that this kind of journalism aims to shed light on complex, difficult subjects that raise doubts among citizens and are susceptible to false information. As Dan and Reuter point out, explanatory reporting facilitates a superior understanding of the topic because it includes more sources and normally different points of view. As a result, we can say that explanatory journalism is undergoing a resurgence within the fact-checking movement worldwide amid an exponential growth of disinformation triggered by populism and also by the COVID pandemic. Regarding the objectives and the methodology of our study, we investigate the main features and methodologies of what we call modern explanatory journalism by analyzing 4 different European fact-checking platforms. Neutral in Spain, Le Décodeur in France, Facta News in Italy, and finally the Journal Fact-Check Unit in Ireland. For that, we have proposed 4 different research questions. The first one has to do with the defining features of this text. The second one is about the factors explaining the rise of explanatory journalism within fact-checking. The third question has to do with the methodology employed in creating this text and how does it differ from the approach using in traditional fact-checking. And the last one, number 4, says how does explanatory journalism contribute to combating disinformation, and if this can be considered an established trend within the field of fact-checking. Regarding the objectives and methodology, we employ 2 different analyses. First, content analysis, in which we focus on the main features of the explanatory text published in the selected outlets during the year 2022, and also semi-structured interviews with the people responsible of these outlets. The results show different characteristics of the explanatory text. First, the Neutral is the platform that publishes the largest number of text during 2022, 149, followed by Fact News and Le Décodeur with 82 and 48, and finally the Journal Fact-Check Unit with 9 texts. Regarding the weekly frequency, Neutral publishes an average of 3 texts per week, while Le Décodeur and Facta publish an average of 1 text per week, and the Journal Fact-Check Unit an average of 1.4 per week. The main topics covered include Ukraine's war, COVID-19, LGBTI community, climate change, and also national and international politics. And all other platforms include the journalistic byline except from Fact News. Also, all of them reflect the sources employed in the text, convey visual or multimedia elements to reinforce the information they present, among them screenshots of tweets, graphics, images, videos, maps, and all of them, except again from the French platform, Le Décodeur, offer different channels to open the participation to the readers. Regarding the origins and causes of explanatory journalism, the different platforms highlight different aspects. For example, Neutral says it uses this kind of journalism to give response to verification requests from the audience that cannot be classified as traditional hoaxes. The Italian outlet says that they use explanatory articles to address what they call trends and narratives of disinformation, and also when traditional fact-checking is not possible, so they can't add that final rating to the fact-check. Le Décodeur, for its part, highlights that they are doing less and less pure fact-checking because they consider it less interesting and effective. And finally, the Irish outlet consider explanatory journalism fundamental for citizens because they need to understand the world they live in, and this kind of text offer all that essential information. The outlets also point out that explanatory journalism has gained greater visibility due to the COVID pandemic, but that the pandemic can't explain itself this trend. And we have to find another factors, among them the hyperconnectivity or the information overload, to explain the need to these formats. Regarding the methodologies, the results show that there are no fixed publication frequencies, that some text can take more time than others, depending on their depth, that most of the articles go through different filters before publication, 2 or 3, and in the case of Le Décodeur, they say that they organize the teams with at least 3 people in them. All the platforms use official sources, among them research, academic papers, statistics, government answers. The texts present a no fixed length. They are mostly written by in-house fact-checkers. They normally are signed by the author, so they present the journalistic byline, except from fact and news. All the teams are formed by different specialists, including journalists, data journalists, engineers or cartographers, and all of them, except again from Le Décodeur, open these channels to the reader's participation. The Spanish platform Neutral describes it as a journalism a la carte. Being asked about the role of explanatory journalism as an ally against disinformation, the platforms highlight different aspects. For example, Le Décodeur says that it's the most effective tool to combat disinformation along with media literacy. The Irish platform says that as long as statistics are around, we're going to need this kind of text. Neutral, for its part, consider that it's very likely that many people have realized that we can do pure and hard fact-checking all the time because not everything can fit into a label. And finally, FACTA considers that the reason is probably found in the need to find new and broader audiences and also to contribute to the audience-led and public service idea of journalism, which is in the core of explanatory journalism. Regarding the discussion and the conclusions, we point out that fact-checking practices are not standardized and verification platforms are adopting this kind of new formats to fight disinformation, and that explanatory journalism provides this context, depth, and detail which are needed. So explanatory texts have a limited presence and still on fact-checking platforms. They don't present fixed schedules or lengths. They cover a wide range of topics. They also include all the sources used. Their format is closer to reported, is less rigid or more flexible than traditional fact checks. And these articles uphold that value of transparency and reinforce the role of the verifier as an agent of context. They offer an audience-oriented approach, very connected to media literacy. The information goes through multiple filters before being published and relies normally on data provided by official sources and also experts. And finally, we can point out that all the platforms agree that explanatory journalism represents a highly valuable tool for combating disinformation and also educating the public, and a rising trend with a promising future ahead. And that's all. Thank you very much for your attendance. It's been a pleasure.